Alright, hi everyone, and welcome back to Product Training with Blue Triangle. Today we're going to talk about how to write synthetic scripts. So in Blue Triangle you can create a synthetic monitor to load and interact with your website to do performance and availability testing. In this session we're going to dive into how to create the scripts that drive that process. Alright, so my name is Mark and I'm the support manager here at Blue Triangle. And I do these training sessions each week about various topics related to web performance and analytics, and ultimately how to solve problems using Blue Triangle. So let's go ahead and get started. So for today's agenda, we're going to start out and just at a high level discuss what are synthetic scripts. And then as we get into how to write synthetic scripts, we'll consider if there's any background knowledge that's needed, and then we'll talk about what tools we're going to be using to write these scripts. Then we're going to go into those tools and go ahead and set up a basic synthetic script, and following that we'll expand on that knowledge a little bit and set up a little more advanced synthetic script, and finally we're going to end with a little bit of Q&A. Alright, so what are synthetic scripts? So depending on the context of who you're talking to or the organization you work for, synthetic scripts may mean slightly different things in different contexts, but for today we're going to be talking about synthetic scripts in Blue Triangle. So in Blue Triangle, a synthetic script is really a set of commands that controls what a synthetic monitor does on a website. A synthetic script allows you to monitor your site across pages that require a session. For example, going to the shopping cart. With a single page monitor or a monitor that just measures one URL, you're not really going to be able to measure or monitor your entire site. In the example of the shopping cart page, if you just hit that with a single URL, you're going to get an empty shopping cart. So it's not going to be entirely valid test unless you go through a session and actually add something to the cart and then load it that way. So synthetic scripts are broken into steps, and that's generally done by page. So you can think about, opening the home page is going to be a step, and then maybe you're gonna click on the search bar and enter a search term, and then click search, and maybe that would be a second step. So each of these steps can have one or more. They can have multiple commands. Now, some of the use cases for these scripts, two of the main use cases here are going to be availability and functionality. So with availability, you're going to run these at a higher frequency so you can be notified as soon as there's an issue. And these tests are going to be really just kind of sanity checks and making sure that the site is available, whereas the functionality tests are going to be probably a little more thorough, and they're going to be testing the various features and functionality of the actual web page. And because these are more thorough and take a little more time, these are going to be a lower frequency. So some of the general examples are going to be your checkout path or your customer flow, where you go from home to search to the product page, and then you add to cart, and then you check out, and etc. You can also just set one of these up to do a basic test for your login. So you would load the page and then perform the login. And then you can also do these scripts on a mobile device or a desktop device. And that configuration can be done in the synthetic monitor, and you can test it of that way as well. Alright, so when it comes to background knowledge, the key here is that it's not required, but it will be pretty helpful. So web programming obviously is going to be pretty important skill here. JavaScript, HTML, CSS. If you can understand what's going on under the hood of the browser, it's going to be a lot easier to troubleshoot issues with your script, write stable and thorough and robust scripts. But it's not it's not required, and I can show you a few simple kind of tips and tricks as we run through examples here shortly that can get you started pretty quickly. So it shouldn't be a significant roadblock. The other thing that's going to be some good knowledge to have is element locators. So whether you're clicking a button or you're clicking an image, maybe you're selecting an item in the list or you're typing something into a field, in each of those situations you're going to need to specify the element on the web page that you're forming this action with. And it's going to be a really important skill to develop as you get into writing these scripts. But again, I can show you a couple of quick tricks and really tips and ways to figure out these element locators that makes it a lot less difficult. All right, so what tools are we going to be using? So obviously we're going to use a web browser, and I'm going to use Chrome. And then to actually do the script writing, we're going to use something called the Catalan Recorder. And this is a browser extension, and it's basically a Selenium IDE. And I'll add this link to drop it into the chat, so you guys can install that and follow along if you'd like. But to the right over here is a little bit of what that looks like. You'll have your script over here, and then each of these rows in the table is going to be a different command. And then at the bottom there's some more details about logging, and there's a command reference and some other things. All right, so kind of high level, that's where we're at. That's where we are here. So we're going to jump over into Catalan right now, and we're going to start with example number 1, which is kind of a basic script. And what we're going to do is log into Blue Triangle. All right. So I'm going to open up Catalan, and Catalan is going to have this little red icon here in Chrome. So when you first open it up, you're going to want to create a new test suite. And to do that, you can just click this plus icon. So this is going to be Blue Triangle Login Demo. So Catalan uses the notion of test suites and test cases. We just use the idea of a script, but what you'll need to do in Catalan is go ahead and create a test case, and you can just name that the same as your test suite, and save this, and that'll be all you need to do. So Blue Triangle Login Demo. All right, so the easiest way to get started is to use the recording feature. So we're going to hit this button right here, and then we're going to go into the browser and manually run through the steps we want this script to follow. And what you're going to notice is while you're going through, Catalan is going to automatically identify what commands are associated with the actions that you're doing. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hit record, and we're going to go to bluetriangle.com. And then we want to go to the portal. So we're going to, up in the top right here, we're going to click sign in. And that now is going to take us to the login screen for the portal. So I have the username and password here for a demo user. I'm going to plug that in. Demo test user 1. And password is HL and sign in. All right, so that's all we want our script to do. So I'm going to pull Catalan back up, and I'm going to hit stop. I think the first thing you should always do here is play the script back to make sure that it's actually going to work. depending on the complexity of your script, there may be some things in here that, Catalan recorded the things properly, but it's tripping up on itself because of some reason or another. Because we need to log back in, I'm going to log out here, and then I'm going to play the script back. So when you hit play there, interesting. It looks like it did not capture my password. So this is a great learning opportunity. So it went all the way through because it was able to perform these clicks, but since we didn't have any validation, the script, it was doing the clicks. It didn't know that we actually didn't make it through the login. So what we're going to need to do at the end of this script is add some validation. Add command. If you right click, you can add a command. So we're going to add a validation command, and these you're going to have to do manually, but some of the examples would be assert text present or wait for element present. I'm kind of a fan of the wait for text present. It seems to be the simplest. So I know that when we log in, the first page we're going to see is the dashboard. So I'm going to say let's wait for text present dashboard. Alright, so let's try to sort out this issue with the login page. So we have our username typed in, but we need to add a command here. We need to type the password, and then the question is what element are we typing the password on? So what you can do to find that out is to go inspect element. Now I'm going to be teaching as I go here, so the ID is certainly the best form, the most trusted, easiest form of identifying an element. So I'm going to use the ID for now, and I'm going to get into some other ways of doing that a little later. And what I mean by that is, as you can see here, ID login form username. You can do the same thing here. ID equals login form password. So let's try this one more time and see if that does it for us. So we're here, and there we go. Awesome. And we found the dashboard text. Great. All right, so now that we know our script works, let's go ahead and hit save quickly. Now, to load these scripts into Blue Triangle and to separate them by page or by step, what we do is we use the store command, and the kind of syntax here is store the name of the page or the step, and then the value is going to be step name 1, camel case, just like that. Now, the second step is going to be right after we open the home page, and that will be go to sign in. Oops, sorry. Store, go to sign in, step name 2. All right, so, and that is that first click right there. The third step is going to be store login to dashboard. Login, yeah, that's fine. Step name 3. Now, a good thing to always do is to perform validation after each step. So after this first open command, I think it would be good to do a wait for text present Blue Triangle, for example. This confirms that when you reach the page, you're going to be, it's the page that you intended it to be. The next one here, we can add a command. Let's wait for text present. So this link is going to take us to the login page of the portal. So I'm going to log out and just take a look at this screen and choose one of these options. So we'll just say username or email. We can take that and we're going to wait for that text to make sure that we've completed this step. I know it looks a little weird here with the green and the white, but we'll run this again one more time to make sure everything is working properly. So we have our step names. Now each of these steps are properly categorized, and again the reason for this is to make the data show up properly in the Blue Triangle portal. When you upload it to the portal, it will break the script out into, well, as a matter of fact, I'll show you right after this. So let's run it back, and then I'll upload the script to the portal. Excellent. So we're going to save that one more time. Blue Triangle login demo. So I'm actually going to go over to a different user here and show you how to upload these scripts to Blue Triangle quickly. There have been a few trainings in the past where we've walked through how to run through the full process of setting up the synthetic monitors. Today we're just going to focus on the scripts, but I would recommend checking out some of those previous trainings for more information about setting up the actual synthetic monitor. There's also some good help videos in our help center related to creating and deploying synthetic monitors. All right, so in the synthetic scripts, under the synthetic section and settings, there's this synthetic scripts option, and if you click create synthetic script, you'll have an option to upload the Selenium IDE file. It should be in HTML, and we're going to do that now. And so when we load this, we should see those 3 steps, right? And as you can see, it takes those store commands and groups the commands into their proper steps. So of course the website, we do an open command at bluetriangle.com, and then we're going to wait for text present in Blue Triangle to confirm we're there. And the same thing for the sign in page. We're going to click that button up in the top right and wait for that text. And then when we get to the login screen, we're going to click the username and go ahead and type in our username, and then we're going to click the password and then go ahead and type in our password. Finally, we're going to click the login button, and then we're going to wait to make sure that we see dashboard on the page to confirm that we're on we've successfully logged in. Now, one thing I want to point out quickly is if there are any passwords in your script, you should go ahead and check this box. This message is saying that each time you update your script, you're going to need to re-enter this. And that's okay, because we want to keep security as a top concern. So if you check that box, this field becomes a password, and you can then re-enter that. So now it will be encrypted from then on. And if you go ahead and just hit create, here we can see our script, and we can export it to HTML. And if you'd like to run an instant measurement, you can do that over in the synthetic monitors page if you set up a monitor for that. But we're going to go back over to the next thing we're going to do is, let me open up the slides again quickly. So that went home to sign in to the login to the dashboard. So our next example is a little more involved, and that's going to be kind of a customer path. We're going to go from home page to search to product, and then we're going to add to cart, and then we're going to view the cart. So this is going to give you an idea of more of a longer, more steps in our script, and hopefully we can go through some more troubleshooting steps. All right, so for this example, I'm going to use Walmart.com. So I'm going to open up Catalon again, and what I can do is just add a new test suite. So we're going to say Walmart cart, Walmart add to cart demo. Walmart path to cart demo. Okay. And again, we're going to right click and add a test case. Walmart path to cart demo. All right, so just a reminder here, what we're going to do is we're going to start at the home page of Walmart. We're going to search for something. We're going to click on a product and go to that product detail page. We're then going to add that item to the cart, and then we're going to click to view the cart. Let's go ahead and turn on the recording button in Catalon here, and we're going to get started. So www.walmart.com. And we're going to search for notebook. And we're just going to choose this first option in the list here. And let's add this to the cart. You can see if I was playing around with this earlier, there's already a few things in my cart. Awesome. So let's view my cart. Excellent. So that is the script. And here are the commands that we have. So I'm going to stop recording. We're going to rerun this in just a second. I'm going to remove this stuff from my cart quickly. Let's click play to see how this does. Might be having trouble finding that element. Oh, no, it found it. So this should be adding to cart. It's running a little slow today. But it looks like we're making it through. And then that final step should be to click that view cart button. Awesome. Wow, so it looks like our script is fully operational. So now what we're going to do is go in and add our store commands to name the different pages, and we're going to add our validation. Home. Let's see, this is search. So we're going to click on the search input, we're going to type that in, and then we're going to click the search button. The next thing we're going to do is click the product page. And after after that, we're going to, let's see, we're going to click Add to Cart. And after that, we're going to view cart. So I'll probably just run this one more time before I get into the validation and make sure that these store commands are all running fine, just to do it. All right. So we can now go in and add our text validation. I think it's very important to ensure that when your script fails, it fails at the right step, and so you can really you can get a good understanding of why, where the script failed and why it did as soon as possible. So as it's chugging along through this script here, I mentioned the element locators earlier, and I gave you an example of the ID. Another common one is the XPath, and that's what you see here with the double slash. And I'll show you a quick trick right now about how to get the XPath. Another thing that you can do is use the CSS selector. So, for example, you could say CSS equals pound global search input, because that's what the ID is in the CSX. But let me show you how to do that real quick. So let's say we wanted to click this remove button. If you right click that remove button and hit inspect element, you can actually find that element. I actually see there's a button up here that's really the key thing here. So if you right click this button, you can copy the selector, and that would be the CSS selector. So basically you could take that, if we wanted to add a command to click that button, what we would do is go in here, say click CSS equals this. There we go. Likewise, we could go in and copy the XPath, and that would look like this. The XPath is a little unique in that you actually don't need that XPath equals at the beginning. It would be fine like this, as you can see here. But another few of these, you can actually name is an element locator. It looks like there's not a name on this particular element. But another one is link text. I don't find that this one is used very much, but what that would look like is if we wanted to click on a link, it would look like this. Like if the link said go back, you could click on the element and it could find it by the text of the link. So those are a few tips and tricks. Again, the way to do that is to right click on the element and inspect it to open up the DevTools, and then when you find that element, you can I think clicking on here would even do the same, but if you find the element, you can right click and copy, go to copy, and then the selector and the XPath are going to be two very helpful ones. All right, so now we can. I'm gonna just add some wait for text presence. Make sure we're let's say Walmart for the home page, and then we're gonna search for notebook. Another good feature of Catalan is if you'd like the script to run through to a particular point and then see the state of the site at that point, what you can do is so what I'd like to do is go in and see what it looks like after I'd like to add validation to the search step. So I'd like to see what it looks like after we type in notebook and hit search. So what I can do is put a breakpoint right here, which means the script is going to stop playing through. So it'll give me a chance to check on that. Cool. So I see the word results here. I'm gonna just take that, add command, wait for text present. And another thing I'll point out is if you have any questions about what these commands actually do, so the first thing is there's a full list of them. If you click this button over here, you can get all of the different commands, but there's really a maybe 10 that are really common, like click and type and open and wait for commands. For example, if you type in wait for, you can wait for element not present or element present. You can wait for text present or text not present. You can also assert text present, which is kind of a common one, or assert text not present. But what I wanted to do was show you that if you have a command here, you can actually go over to this reference and it gives you some documentation about what this command actually does. So we'll go to our product and we'll probably just fill in the rest of these with some, sorry. And last step, I'm just kind of putting in Walmart for each of these as for the sake of this demo. All right, so now we're going to run through the whole thing again one last time. We're going to remove this breakpoint. Another few things, you can play from certain parts of the script. You can play certain commands. You can kind of delete and copy and paste. Oh, we're going to take that breakpoint out. And let's play that script all the way through. Excellent. All right, so we're all green and we know that the script worked. And now you can move into uploading it to Blue Triangle and kicking it off. So that's all I had for you guys today. Appreciate your time, and I'm gonna pause right now and jump over and look at the chat and the questions and see if there's anything I can help answer for you guys. All right, so I do see one question, and that is, I don't see the synthetic scripts option in Blue Triangle. Do I need different access? So yeah, the answer is yes. Chances are you are a department viewer. The access you're going to need is a department admin. And if you If you just reach out to your manager or your account manager at Blue Triangle on your team, then they should be able to quickly upgrade your access so you can upload these scripts. The good news is you can write these scripts outside of Blue Triangle using Catalan, so you don't actually need access to Blue Triangle until you actually go in and want to begin running them with synthetic monitors. All right. So, with that, guys, we appreciate your time. And if you do have any more questions, we're happy to speak with you offline. So, feel free to reach out to us anytime. You can use any of the emails listed here. You can reach us in support@bluetriangle.com. And you can also submit a request or a question in our help center at help.bluetriangle.com. For more information about product training, like how to watch some of our past sessions or how to register for upcoming ones, be sure to check out our help center. Again, that's help.bluetriangle.com. And when you're there, you can just click the big button for product training. All right, guys, that's all we have for you today. Thanks again for your time, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.